Retirement takes a lot of money. People living longer, mounting health care costs, long-term inflation, it all adds up. Relying on Social Security alone won't be enough. For most middle-class Americans, Social Security will provide only 35 to 40% of pre-retirement income. Most of us have no idea how big a nest egg we'll actually need, or how much we should be saving every year. That means the vast majority are unprepared. North of Dallas is a typical new economy company, Perot Systems. Like many companies, it offers its workers a 401k savings plan, and it's up to the employees to get involved in saving for their future. Rich Kidner makes about $40,000 a year as a service desk analyst at Perot. He has a mortgage and 2 cars, and he's 56, an age where retirement is very much on his mind.
I want to be able to afford to play golf every day or every week. You know, I don't want to have to sit home and sit in the house and worry about, can I make my air conditioning payment? You know, am I eating beans and franks tonight?
Like many in the workforce today, Kidner changed jobs several times. And it wasn't until he was in his 40s that he got serious about saving for his retirement.
I looked at my life and I'm going like, I'm age 42, I'm not 30 anymore. Instead of 30 years to do this project in, I now have, 20 years. Thank you for calling Perot Systems Service Desk. My name
When he joined Perot Systems in 1992, Kidner joined the 401k plan. Over the past 14 years, he's built a nest egg of $120,000. Sounds good, but it's actually well short of where Kidner needs to be, just 9 years before normal retirement.
Thank you. Now, I don't think I'm going to get to the end of my career and be standing in the soup line, but, instead of the $3,000 a month that I'm currently being paid, let's say that my income might only be around $1,500.
It's a pretty typical problem for lots of Americans, winding up with too small a nest egg because they started saving too late, set aside too little each year, and didn't have a realistic target for retirement savings.
Yogi Berra once said, if you don't know where you're going, you're likely to wind up someplace else. And that describes most people's financial preparation for retirement. They don't know where they're going, and most people are likely, unfortunately, to wind up someplace else, someplace they don't like.
The target is key. Just how big your nest egg needs to be may come as quite a surprise to most people, according to the experts at the Employee Benefit Research Institute. What's a realistic target for people who want to sustain their middle-class standard of living and expect to have a reasonably long and healthy life?
A realistic target for an individual and family is 20 times their final annual income.
To get to 20 times your final salary as your retirement nest egg, how much do you need to save each year, you and your employer?
If you save for a full working career of 40 years and you save between yourself and your employer about 15% each and every year, then you'll get to where you need to be. The longer you wait to start, the higher that percentage will have to be.
Starting early is a lesson taken to heart by one of Kidner's co-workers, 27-year-old Charlie Brock.
As far as the 401k, started with $0. And today, 5.5 years later, I've got almost $15,000, over $14,000. So I think that's pretty good.
Like most Americans, Charlie Brock isn't sure. He hasn't done the hard arithmetic of adding up how much money he'll eventually need for retirement.
If I had to just guess, total nest egg, I would think probably $300,000. I'm not sure why I said that number.
Charlie Brock is in for a surprise. By the time he retires, he hopes to be making $70,000 a year. He'll need 20 times that in his nest egg.
We need 20 times. So 10 times is 700,000. So 1.4 million, would that be right on a $70,000 salary? 1.4 million. That's a lot larger than the 300,000 I ballparked earlier. Yeah. That almost seems unrealistic.
Can Charlie Brock do it? Can he save $1.4 million?
Certainly. Saving $1.4 million is not that difficult for a person who is willing to set aside some things to have a financially secure retirement. He's going to be able to live the life he wants, not the life that accidentally happens to him. And most people are going to live in retirement the life that accidentally happens to them because they don't have options, because they're limited financially.